5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How about we do it again?
6, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think I followed it.
Okay, let's try one more
I
time.
definitely.
Ready?
Ranking review. Ranking review. Ranking review.
Say 6,
6,
5,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Rank and Review. This is the voice of your host and random Canadian Larry Parsons. My guest this episode is Mr. Scott Lehman, who I've known as long as I've been alive, and 3 times before we have done episodes exclusively on the subject of slasher cinema, and we're doing it a 4th time. Is it strange that we take comfort in these bizarre, bloody, exploitive films? I don't think so. But maybe you feel differently. So we've been here before. We may someday be here again. But yes, the familiar comfort of classic form slasher cinema. You can send your feedback to me at ranknreview@gmail.com. That's ranknreview@gmail.com. You can check out the website at ranknreview.ca and maybe check out the YouTube presence. Maybe give your ranks beneath the podcast or give a like or a subscribe. If you feel like doing that. As always, you should go into the podcast understanding that there's going to be swears and there's going to be spoilers. And that's how we do business in Rank and Review. Thank you for being here. We've been here several times before, Scott. This is actually our 4th slasher podcast, or is it? Yeah, it's our 4th. I guess 5th if you count the Film Club slasher, but the 4th that just Scott Lehman and Larry Parsons discuss one of our very favorite genres, slashers. And traditionally I'd be like, why do you like slashers? Or what is it that you expect to see from a slasher movie? Or are you here for the suspense or the kills? But I feel like we've had these conversations, Scott. So I wanted to maybe broach a sub-theme that's come up in this group that kind of mostly accidentally happened by me throwing them together. But where the slasher movie gets kind of preoccupied with also being a whodunit or a sort of a thrilling murder mystery that just has extra gore in it. But a lot of these movies want to go for that sneaky reversal at the end, but the killer was actually this person the whole time, or none of the kills actually happened. Psych! Do you think that kind of payoff is something that you value in a slasher movie? Or, I use Friday the 13th as my sort of level when it comes to the slasher movies. And I find that the more they stray from formula, the less interested I become. I take comfort in a group of campers go to Crystal Lake, and most of them die, and Jason is defeated for now. That, for me, is enough. But is that enough for you?
Absolutely, it's enough sometimes. I have room for all the different styles. Sometimes, I just want people picked off one by one. But every now and then, sometimes you need that little extra twist. What's going to make your movie different? Maybe it's one of those, like a Scream, everyone's a suspect type movies, or Prom Night, or is it the creepy gardener? Is it this guy? Or, who is? Sometimes it's painfully obvious, but Yeah, it's something. It adds a little twist, makes it a bit more interesting, I guess. But sometimes, yeah, it's like we know it's so and so escaped from the institute, and like something like Slumber Party Massacre, which I reference every single time we talk about it. It opens up with a radio announcement or a newspaper clipping that someone's escaped, and it shows them this is the killer. Just so you know, guys, he's going to kill everybody.
That's fine. We don't need to spend, the first prologue 10 minutes of the movie getting to know who this person is or what their origin was, or we don't have to spend the whole movie looking in the shadows wondering who's the liar, who's the guy, who's manipulating all of this to go along. No. We're here for slowly walking down a hallway or creeping in the woods, and then out pops the killer and slap.
But if a filmmaker's got what they think is a neat idea or something interesting or a twist, then yeah, for sure, show me it and tell me your story. Just not to the point where don't let the mystery of the killer overtake the horror.
Maybe you're making a slasher movie at first, right? Like that's should be the main priority. Yeah. I am a big lover of Scream, the Scream franchise. The most recent Scream movie that's still in theaters right now is the highest grossing Scream in Scream history and comfortably the worst Scream in Scream history. But
okay. I'm yet to see that one still.
Well, no spoilers. I'm just saying I think that as much as I appreciate Scream and it's definitely got its legacy right now, it was a double-edged sword in its influence in that it kind of made... They had to wink, or they had to be clever, or they had to do some sort of subversion, which is interesting and fun, but not particularly scary and very movie. It's sort of a sort of thing that sort of yells out to the audience, "Ha! Movie! We made a Dawson's Creek reference, huh?"
That won't age.
Right? Exactly. And that's the stuff in Scream that it has aged the most uncomfortably. But I honestly think you help yourself in this particular genre by being as bluntly simple as possible. Deliver the gore, deliver some exploitation, and don't overthink it. That's something that might be missing a little bit in this group of movies. There's not a lot of titties in this. Usually they overpour on the nudity in slasher movies. This selection seems a little reserved that way.
I'm trying to think. I think... two of the movies, maybe, right?
Yeah.
One of them quite clearly, and but we'll touch on that maybe. Maybe that's what we pick up with each movie as far as what did it do? The who done.
We'll do a kill count and a nipple count at the end. Is there anything else you want to say by way of introduction before I list off our movies and we get started?
Well, I'm not sure what point this is airing, but I'm looking forward to taking that crown back.
Okay. This will be dropping at the end of June.
Oh, okay. So, assuming Lee's got it by now.
Take this, Lee. Okay. Scott's coming in confident. I like it. I like the energy. From 1980, Prom Night, the second of the Jamie Lee Curtis slasher trilogy. We have one of Scott's highly recommended guilty pleasure slashers, Sorority Row. I believe that's a remake or a sort of spiritual remake to The House on Sorority Row, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. We have a remake of an 80s film called April Fool's Day, and I remember the original one being disappointing to me as a kid because I just didn't like the trick of the movie. But I kind of grew up to appreciate it more. So, maybe after 10 or 20 years, I'll appreciate this one more too. Cry Wolf is a, quote, modern movie, if you consider modern the early 2000s. My Bloody Valentine is kind of the granddaddy of the Canadian-made slasher movies of the 70s and 80s. And we're going to finish with a little Italian spice. Michele Soavi's Stage Fright. I was pointed out when I did my review of Cemetery Man, which this same director directed. I called him like Michael Sovi or something. No, Michele Soavi. See, I can be taught.
You're cultured.
Look at me.
Nick? Wendy, do you still like to play games? too old for games, but someone still wants to play.
Why? Callie, it's been a long time. Tonight, it's my turn. Everything is on.
Tonight, someone has come to the prom alone. Someone who watches in the silent corridors.
Callie. Help!
Someone who waits until no one can help. Prom night. If you're not back by midnight, you won't be coming home.
So a lot of actresses or actors don't want to get typecast. They make it their name in a big slasher movie like Halloween. Then they want to do something dramatically different and prove themselves in a different genre. I think that Jamie Lee Curtis was pretty savvy to stay the course. Like, she earned her Scream Queen kind of title because of Terror Train, Prom Night, and Halloween. I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but to me, Prom Night is comfortably the weakest of those three movies for me.
Yeah, I think so. And we can throw, let's see, The Fog you put in there too?
Yeah, I mean, The Fog is great. I just don't consider it a slasher movie in that
Okay.
way. These three just feel like very pure form slasher movies, right? But yeah, she did other horror movies for sure. But yeah, that Jamie Lee Curtis slasher cycle, I think, yeah, Prom Night hits a little bit weak for me. There's things all over the place. I feel like the center of this movie has way too much sag. When we get to the final, like, half an hour or so, like, all of the horror gets compacted there. If you took, like, the first 10 minutes and the last half an hour, you'd have a pretty tight slasher movie, but you'd only have about half of a movie. The rest of the movie is really preoccupied with the disco, and like this was coming out right as disco was dying a brutal, obvious death. Like, it was almost out of date as it was airing here, but a lot of energy and time is being put into this dance and the prom and this big dance disco number that's going to happen during it. And one thing that is perpetually missed by me is why the killer is choosing this night to execute these like, the movie's called Prom Night. It's all centered around vengeance having take place on the night of the prom, and we know why this person has gone crazy or what he's trying to avenge. But I never understood why the prom. Another problem, and if we can call it that, is Leslie Nielsen. And I love Leslie Nielsen, but this was just before Airplane was going to come out and sort of change his entire identity. And through no fault of his own, to me it always feels like he's playing a straight man in these scenes, and I keep on waiting for him to bust a fart or for something ridiculous to happen in the background or like some naked gun joke to take place. And that's not a fair thing to judge the movie for, but...
No, I think that's the problem that's on us. That's on you then.
Yeah.
I think, right?
But it is there. The movie feels slow, and it's also shot in a strange way. There's something soft about the focus. It's like the entire movie is a flashback or a dream sequence somehow. It's got this softness to it. And it's all right. Like, I'm not hating it. The acting is good. Like, the story makes sense. I just think it drags its feet a little too much for my taste. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy, Larry. You're not crazy at all. A lot of what you're saying is accurate. I mean, first of all, the Leslie Nielsen thing, it's funny because when I look at the DVD cover that I have, I'm just picturing like if one of my kids or somebody found this and picked it up, it says Jamie Lee Curtis, Leslie Nielsen in Prom Night. They're probably thinking, we should watch it. This looks hilarious. But it's not hilarious. It's disappointingly unfunny.
It was very dry humor.
Yeah, it starts off weird too because I feel like every time I watch Prom Night, I feel like I kind of forget. Oh yeah, this is how it starts. It starts with these kids playing hide and seek in an abandoned building, except they don't call it hide and seek. They call it the killers are coming.
Yeah.
In this weirdly acted kind of scene. I mean, they're child actors, but they're delivering their lines like, "The killer is coming. I'm gonna kill you all," and stuff like that. And I don't know. The rules of this game don't really make a lot of sense. And they corner this one girl and just say, "The killer is coming. The killer is coming." And I guess that's, are you winning? Are you losing? I'm not sure. And then she falls out the window, and I guess she's not winning. But so we have our pre-story and then titled Prom Night. And then we flash forward 6 years later, which, as we all know, that's when you want to take revenge, is 6 years later during the prom. You're right. It never really specifies why that's the date. But it's also, we talked about a whodunit. This is definitely a whodunit type of movie.
Yeah.
But the catch with that is there's about 0 minutes where you ever don't know exactly who the killer is, really. I mean, it's you got the red herrings up the...
It's not Jamie Lee Curtis, obviously. And, like, they could imply that it was her father or, someone else. But... it's her brother who's skulking around in the shadows at all times and just quietly staring at everybody the whole movie.
Yeah, I think, well, of course it is. I mean, it's funny because Jamie Lee Curtis is our Scream Queen final girl, but she was also the only person in this movie not in any danger.
Yeah.
She at no point is in any danger of being killed. He's not going to hurt her sister. He's avenging his other sister's death. So... it's kind of a weird movie because it starts with that, and then there's about 50 minutes to an hour of absolutely nothing happening other than from disco dancing. We get like 3 or 4 minutes of a dance that we have to watch, entire dance, and getting ready for prom. There's some side stories introducing I guess a school bully that we're supposed to think, hey, he owns a ski mask, maybe he's the killer.
Too easy.
Nothing really adds up. And you're right, until the kills start an hour into the movie, you're just wondering, what was this last hour? There was really nothing of interest that happened during that. And I just feel like I like Prom Night, but I always feel like I want to like it more. I feel like it should be better, if that makes sense.
Sure. And again, a lot of 80s slasher movies will take their time. Like, I can go with a patient movie, but that 50 minutes that we're talking about, they're not even really like gloom in the shadows or somebody watching from far off. It really is just the inane interactions of planning a prom and a dance. And that's not enough to sustain it. It felt like they didn't have enough story there. There is a kind of nice interaction. I like the dude with the cheesy 70s hookup van. And he picks up this girl and asks her out, and she's so delighted to finally have a date for the prom. And they're both super excited, and they both want to get laid, and they both end up getting laid. And, like, I think the movie successfully told a little story between, like, in that relationship. They were both awkward, but, they good for them. They found each other, they coupled, and then, unfortunately, they were immediately killed. That couple particularly were also guilty of a very 80s thing, as they did not look like high school students to me. These people are definitely in their late 20s, but whatever.
No, nobody in this was high school age for sure. What did we mention? I mean, the kills, do you have any? The killer was, the final kill, I guess the big one, the famous one is the decapitation.
Yeah.
Where the head rolls down the runway during the prom. That's a good kill. I think that works. And
the couple in the van is actually decently executed too. I mean, the killer teleports, but
yeah, and we don't really see. It's kind of like Texas Chainsaw or Halloween, where we don't see knives entering people.
Right.
But it's shot in a way where it's kind of surprising, and for a
feels
1980s.
brutal. It feels brutal without being brutal. But I think that's another thing that loses points to Prom Night, because it came out contemporarily with Friday the 13th, which very much upped the ante when it came to visceral on-screen gore. But I think for that type of movie, Prom Night does it well. Like, you see that knife coming down towards the girl in the van, you know exactly what's going to happen. You almost don't need to see it. It's grim. And it's also grim for this guy to witness that happen to her right in front of him so suddenly. But yeah, it probably, the gorehound in me says they could have pushed the gore, and at the risk of sounding like a creepy old man, they could have upped the exploitation value of the movie too. It's not like it would have been out of character for the movie, and not that boobs themselves make a scene work, but it something to help the sag in the center of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have a slow build horror movie and still be interesting.
Yes.
I mean, everyone loves Halloween. Another Jamie Lee Curtis movie where maybe not a lot happens in the middle section of the movie, but you're riveted the entire time, and you're building that atmosphere. You're getting to know about these characters, and you care about them, you like them, and there's this shape in the background that you're just uneasy and creeped out about. That doesn't happen in Prom Night. We're just kind of waiting for the kills to start, and we get a little bit of a Black Christmas homage or inspiration or something at beginning with the phone calls.
Right.
And he's totally using a Black Christmas Billy voice where he's like, "Hello, do you like to play games?" And they're like, what's this killer's deal? His point. I mean, he just crosses off his name after he just calls everybody, taunts them a little bit, and then hangs up.
Something pathetic about this killer. I mean, he is trying to avenge his sister's death, and it's obviously traumatized him and haunted him for a long time for him to get to this point. There's something of this in the original Psycho too, when Norman Bates is unmasked. The second the mask comes off, he becomes the hugest little bitch. He's been so sinister and so brutal this entire time, but as soon as the mask comes off, he just crumples into a child. And that might be more authentic to what an actual, damaged psychologically person might be, but it doesn't say franchise horror killer,
No, and can you explain to me why when they do the final unmasking and he's crying and dying, why is he wearing makeup? He's wearing lipstick.
You got me.
I never understand. I always forget about that. They pull the mask off, and he's got clearly deep red lipstick around his mouth, and I'm trying to remember why that would be, or why how's that relevant?
Was there a show? Was there some sort of stage for? I don't know.
No, there's nothing.
They had plenty of time to explain to us why he might be wearing makeup, but they chose not to. I think I'm sounding more negative than I mean to on the movie. I mean, it's all right, but I feel like it's got more status around it than maybe is deserved.
And I think that's what I'm saying. What I mean when I say I want it to be better, because it's kind of regarded as one of those, classics. It came out in 1980. We got Halloween. We got all the, this is the era of Friday the 13th. Prom Night is always said in those breaths. And I feel like for the status it gets, I just want it to be a little bit better.
Yeah. But that first 10 minutes and the last 20, though,
You mentioned when he's kind of a pathetic killer when he's chasing one of the girls around the hallways of the high school with an axe.
Yes.
And he gets bested by the girl with a broom. It's like, oh, you got me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that scene I kind of like, the chase, and the one thing I like is you hear kind of muted sounds at the prom and the gym, the music, it's muffled. It kind of built a good atmosphere there. I'll give it some credit. It just seemed like, because it sounds like help is there, there's people around, but I'm so far away. I'm trying to think of something nice. That was pretty good.
No, I like the idea because there's a big group of people and they're not far away, and if you could just get them or get their attention, but you can't. Yeah. That by itself works. They're competent. I do believe everybody involved in this movie watched Halloween. I don't think they understood what made Halloween work. The middle of that movie was still full of tension and the girls were still being stalked, but we were waiting and terrified that there was violence around any corner. In the middle of this movie, it could just be like a high school drama. It could be John Hughes territory. There's no weight to any of the scenes and no suspense. And that was a mistake. You're making a horror movie, you guys.
Yep. And as we said, the movie kind of starts off with an accidental death. Hold on. We'll talk about that again.
We'll get to this. There might be one or two more of these. Who knows?
Megan's dead, and we're all responsible.
I don't see a way out of this.
Maybe there is. I'm not gonna let this ruin our lives.
If we all stick to the same story, no one will ever know.
happy as this day is, one of our sisters is still missing. To Megan, we love and miss you.
Oh my god. It's a prank. It's the only explanation.
Hello? I have one, guys. Megan came back from the dead. Now she wants to kill us.
Megan? She was wearing a hooded gown.
Half the Greek system is in hooded graduation gowns right now. It's not Megan. She is rotting in a mine shaft.
We all deserve to die.
Sorority Row from 2009, directed by Stuart Handler. I only have the most vague memories. You're pumping your fists. You're excited for this one. I only have the vaguest memories of the house at Sorority Row that this is based on. So if they were winking or paying direct homage to the original film or original sequence of the film, I'm going to plead ignorance at this point.
Yeah.
You included it on our list of guilty pleasures all those years back, and sort of reminded me of the film's existence. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I mean, like, this is a absolute formula slasher movie, and it does the job well. And in that way, it's sort of like a delicious fast food meal. You really enjoy it while it's happening, and then you almost instantly, completely forget about it. It's kind of how I feel about the movie. It's solid, but there's nothing about it that really waves a flag that says, you know, this is special. Look at me, look at me, look at me. A revenge prank goes wrong. They want to trick this guy into thinking that he's killed a girl to make him feel like an asshole because he has legitimately been an asshole in the past. But wouldn't you know it, Scott, things go a little bit left of center. And a person is stabbed, a body is hidden, and a little while later, obscure messages start showing up, and responsible parties start disappearing one at a time. It's
Hey, we should stop you right there, because your listeners are probably thinking you're describing I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Right? Or any number of other horror movies, which is the good and the bad of Sorority Row. It's got real polish to it, it's definitely got a budget, and it's got cool sequences, and kind of an interesting slasher trademark where some of the victims are kind of killed by their own vices or weaknesses, like the chick who likes to drink too much gets a bottle shoved down her throat, and
oh yes,
you know, I really like the scene with the hot tub with a bunch of the soap suds being all overflowing and filling the backyards with suds, and this woman being kind of dragged into it, and we see a bunch of sparks and screaming, and but it's all obscured by it. Like, there's cool sequences throughout the movie. We get a great cameo from Carrie Fisher, and you know, the girls are all very attractive, and there's not a lot of sag on the movie. I was complaining that Prom Night sagged, Sorority Row didn't, but I will, I guess, also say it didn't necessarily distinguish itself a lot to me. It is another solid slasher. I will watch it. I have watched it. I'll watch it again. It's on the wall. But beyond that, I feel like I'm already running out of things to say. What do you feel about Sorority Row?
Well, I just think it's a hell of a lot of fun to watch this movie. And I'm not sure exactly what it is about it. And I guess the reason that I said it's a guilty pleasure is I feel like maybe while I'm enjoying it, I'm wondering, why do you love this so much? Why are you having so much fun? And why are you just grinning like an idiot? Like, you're better than this, Scott. And I'm like, no, I'm not. This is as good as I am. I'm not better than this. I don't know. Like, this is just an entertaining watch to me. And it's funny because pretty much every girl in this movie is just a complete bitch too.
Right.
Like, they're just terrible people all the way around. Even our nicest girl still decides to do the wrong thing and goes along with it. I called this girl, the movie Mean Girls Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
I mean, but the killer uses a modified, what is it,
it's like a crowbar with
the tire iron. Sorry,
tire
think of the word. Yeah, so it's kind of replaces it with, you know, blades and pointed edges and everything, and it's kind of cool. There's some great kills with it. You can kind of throw it, twirl it around. It's a formulaic movie, but it's a very jiggly movie, as I maybe mentioned to you. It's one of those where there's not a lot of nudity, but it feels like there is.
Yes, it's exploitive without being full bore exploitive.
Yeah, we got a lot of sorority parties, girls in lingerie, bikinis. They're always jumping. There's trampolines, this stuff like that.
Bosoms are heaving. Yes.
It's just one for me that I think is some brainless fun. Just maybe it's one of those movies. Sometimes you got to catch you on the right day. Well, somehow this catches me on all the right days for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's simple and it's entertaining. And you're right. It's polished. It looks good. Sounds good. That kill with the bottle shoved down that girl's throat, and then the slicing of the neck, I think, is fucking fabulous. It was great.
And just the shot of the bubbles coming up as the bottle drains into.
Yeah. But as we've established, also this is another one that tries to go the whodunit route.
Right.
Is this their dead friend come back from the grave? Is this somebody else? Is this her sister that showed up now all of a sudden trying to avenge her death? And then, nope, it's none of them. It's a surprise.
Just some random dorky dude who's trying to have this girl all to himself, I guess.
Yeah, it gets kind of convoluted at the end when they find out who is the killer, because you find out who they think is the killer, and then it turns out, oh, surprise, it wasn't him. He was an asshole trying to kill you, but he wasn't the killer.
Right.
But,
mistakes were made.
Yeah.
The head matron or whatever of the sorority house, the Carrie Fisher character, I don't know if it was intentional, but she kind of had echoes of Black Christmas to me. The sort of house mother in Black Christmas who had the bottles of booze hidden everywhere. And she presents as really stern and strict to all of the girls and, fed up with them. But she will fight to the death to protect the girls when she finds out that there's a killer there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a conscious reference to Black Christmas, but either way it worked for me. And it was just nice to see Carrie Fisher. She must have liked the horror genre because she did that cameo in Scream 3 as well. She's game to show up and do a piece for a horror movie. So respect to the late, great Carrie Fisher.
And I think as far as it being a remake of The House on Sorority Row, it is very loose. I think inspired by the idea. Basically, the only thing that has in common is there's a prank that's gone wrong, and the sorority girls have to cover up for it. And while they're covering up for it, everyone else starts to die one by one. But it's an interesting movie, very, very different from this one. I believe it's the house mother actually that gets killed in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so the only callback is there's that one point in the movie they pick up a cane in Sorority Row, and that cane is a reference to the old lady in the original. She carries this cane with it's very distinct, and they use that as a weapon. But
probably revisit that one. My memory of it is not strong.
Yeah, you'll watch it, and then you'll watch this, and you'll say, "Yeah, these are not the same movie. They're very, very different from each other." But
there are murders in them, and there are sororities in them, and that's probably enough.
And there's a row.
There's a row, yes.
A sorority and a row.
Yeah, you were talking about the kills. I was just bringing this up here. A bladed weapon is driven up through this girl's chin and to the top of her head. This is a classic slasher kill that we've been seeing a lot lately. But in more recent slashers, you're starting to actually be able to get to see in the open mouth the blade. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just a progression that they've made in the slasher cinema that I thought was appreciated.
And you get to have some fun with it because you really don't mind when any of these girls do die because, as I said, they don't have a lot of redeeming qualities. So it's like, oh no, not her.
I think that's maybe the problem with our minimal investment. It's fun and we know where this movie's going and we know what to expect, but there's not that kill that hurts you. There's no Randy kill or something that you're like, oh shit, that sucks, dude.
Yeah, these are kills where you're kind of on the side of the killer saying, oh, that was cool.
Yeah. Or that one character that's just such a bitch that you're kind of bringing it down. Like, I think it maybe needed that spicier character, or that spicier moment to really make it memorable.
Well, I'm going to stand by my enjoyment of this where, yeah, maybe I rank it too high. It's one of those guilty pleasures, right? Where it's just like, it's got a soft spot in my heart. I'm not sure what it is about it, but
No.
I find it 90 minutes of entertainment.
It's, again, I've been saying this too much on the podcast, but it's a movie, if you fight it, you'll probably win. But if you don't, you'll probably have a lot of fun. Like, does it make sense that this guy is so riddled with guilt that he thinks he's responsible for this woman's death, that he takes this weapon out and drives it through her chest out of rage? Like, what is that decision? I mean, yeah, I was just stabbing a corpse, but yeah, dude, you were stabbing a corpse. Like, or so
I
you
think the
thought.
reason was they said if she has air in her lungs, she'll float to the surface. So that's
Put
what
a
I
hole
did.
in her.
Yeah, that was his defense. So
Yes.
of course.
Not super credible, but like amusing.
Yeah,
Remember
because
Willis?
someone's throwing her in a well and throwing her in the water, and they said, "Well, what about implants? Are they going to float?" She gives the finger.
Rumor Willis is the one friend that seems really conflicted, and she kind of disappears and tries to remove herself and separate from everyone, and is sort of slowly drawn back into it. But at the end of the day, for the time they spent on the character, I really don't know what she added to the brew here. She wasn't bad necessarily, but she didn't seem in any way essential to what was going on.
Yeah, not
It was like a
necessarily.
character who decided to bench themselves for a game, but the camera kept cutting to him on the bench, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say about Sorority Row. I'm not meaning to talk shit about your guilty pleasure movie. I do think it's fine, but that's kind of where I land on it. It's fine. I get why you like it. I don't dislike it. I think you just saw it on the perfect day, my dude.
I don't know. It works all the time, every time. That's all.
And that's all we need. Moving on.
But on this night,
April Fool's Day.
the gag is about to turn. Dead serious. Now,
Miss Cartier, I found this at the door earlier this morning.
1 year later,
Dear friends, the years passed since my tragic death. I was hoping one of you would accept responsibility.
6 friends must stand together
My murderer doesn't come forward. Each one of you will die throughout the course of this April Fool's Day.
if they want to survive.
Oh, you think it's a joke?
You're the expert, right?
If the person who killed Milan doesn't come forward, then any one of us could be next.
Ryan, who's to say any of us killed him? Whoever this is could be bluffing or crazy.
Sounds to me like you're the ones hiding something.
It's not Ryan. He's dead.
Get her out of here!
We need to call the cops.
Someone's trying to set us up. Neither one of us killed Milan.
You're lying.
April Fool's Day 2008. As you know, I myself have made a micro-budget film. So I know what a micro-budget film looks and feels like. And this movie feels like a micro-budget film. It clearly shot on low-end digital. They had a couple of key locations that they kept on repeating, and a young, largely unknown cast. Joe Egender, who plays Ryan, went on to bigger, better things. He did a movie called Holy Ghost People, and I believe him to be a really good actor. And Scout Taylor Compton, of course, would go on to do the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. So those actors at least had something to look forward to. This movie is one of those frustrating things where, like, I complained about Prom Night being slow, this movie's slow, and I complained about, horror movies trying to be clever when they're not, and this movie is definitely guilty of that. On top of that, the kills don't pay the way I want them to, and in some cases don't make sense. So this sort of conglomeration of too slow, smarter than it thinks it is, and wonky in the execution made this feel like a positively endless 91 minutes. But, a lot of times I'll be like, yeah, okay, first at bats, everybody's just learning. Let's try to find things that we can compliment on it. But it's weird, this movie. Like, when you try to focus on it, it makes your mind wander away from it. I had to, I confess, read a full synopsis of this film earlier this evening because I wanted to refresh myself on the finer plot points, and I watched it like a week ago. There's just nothing here, and the nothing seems to take forever. I took issue with the original April Fools because I didn't like, at the end, that there were no real kills. Yeah, like, I didn't like, I felt it was a cheat. And I was of that age category where I wanted it to be real and scary and gnarly and hard. I came in sort of prepared for the twist on this movie, right? So, all it did was take any chance of any suspense at any point ever taking place evaporate out of the movie. And when the peaks with our main character being accidentally murdered by the group as the sort of punchline to the joke, I just felt so little. Like, I couldn't even take joy in it. I mean, I knew that the movie was almost over. There was relief in that. But, wow.
When she gets accidentally blown away in the head.
Yeah.
I think I laughed. I definitely laughed. It's funny, but I don't think it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be shock.
Where there was a laugh maybe, but there was just a hint of bitterness. So I don't know if this is coming across or not, but I'm not a big fan of this new April Fool's Day. Like, the initial setup where there's an accidental death or the woman has a bad reaction and falls off the balcony and breaks her, that takes like the first half an hour of this movie. It's endless. Like, part of me thinks my purgatory will just be a running loop of movies like this one.
Wait, did you say it opens with an accidental death?
Well, yeah, kind of. It eventually gets to it.
That's just weird, because we haven't talked about a movie that opened with an accidental death since, everyone so far.
Yeah, we're 3 for 3 so far. Instigating incidents.
Yeah, and the accidental death. Yeah, and what a long scene that was, and it just went on, and I was wondering, like, until that happened, what is the point? What are we doing? This was just a bad movie. I had no interest in this movie. I have good memories of the original April Fool's Day, but like you, I didn't want it to be a trick at the end. I kind of liked everybody dying in Friday the 13th type movie.
Yep.
But at the same time, while the deaths were happening in that movie, it was still fun because everyone didn't know until they got fake killed that this was a big prank going on one by one. So it was still a fun ride until that point. And plus you had April Fool's Day in the background. There were pranks going on all night. People are pranking each other. There's all these tricks going on. That wasn't really here in this one, other than, like the fake thumb, very, very early on.
Well,
pre-credit. But.
And it kind of takes place over several days. Like, it's a large period of time. This is not all happening on April Fool's Day. Not that I particularly care. But it also just flatly doesn't make sense. If this group of friends is playing this large, elaborate prank on her, like, why is this dude scared when he creeps outside to investigate this noise if he knows that, like, they're just going to pose him to make it look like he's dead? Like, why is he scared? Why is he feeling suspense? It doesn't make sense. It's a vamping for an audience that doesn't exist. And it takes forever.
And it doesn't make sense. Yeah, we don't get any good kills. The one guy gets run over by a truck.
Yeah, but we don't see it.
But it's out of, you just see the truck go by and a bunch of paper flying there. There's just no payoff for anything. And so the original death, the accidental death that happened as a result of an April Fool's prank. But what the fuck was that prank? Just that she was getting seduced by her.
It wasn't really like they were all going to barge in on her while she was having sex. Like, because that's hilarious.
They had a video camera and they said, April Fools. You're doing it wrong.
But it also just coincided with this allergic reaction and her panicking and falling off of the balcony. But again, and getting there, Scott, getting to that point just took forever. Like, this is a pre-credit sequence in any other slasher movie.
Yeah.
I actually remember making the same complaint about Death Proof, the Quentin Tarantino Death Proof, where like the first half of that movie is what was supposed to happen before the credits.
In most movies, yeah.
We meet the killer and we know how he does his business, and then the credits roll and we get introduced to our cast. Like that would be an efficient way to make one of these sort of slash and dash type of movies. They went a different direction with this, but I don't think these were bold creative choices. I think these were amateur people with not a lot of money just trying to make it work. It is weird how it feels like they're spamming it to try and stretch things out to make it into a feature runtime. At some point with movies like this, I was like, at some point, wouldn't it make more sense to make a watchable short film instead of an unwatchable feature film?
Yeah. Or go work in a mall or something. I don't know. I couldn't get behind the acting, the writing, anything. It just seemed, everything just seemed off.
Yeah. Can this kind of conceit work, though? I mean, Friday the 13th 5 kind of pulls it off. I'm a little hard on that movie, but it still delivers on the sex and violence that we want in a Friday the 13th movie. We're just deprived of our Jason. But can you do a psycho slasher movie where at the end of the day, what we saw wasn't what we thought we saw, but it still pays off as, you know, what we want from a slasher movie? Because I kind of feel like what we wanted when we were little kids is still what we kind of want now when we watch a slasher movie. We want the stakes to be high, you know, teeth and tissue. We start with a large group of people, one or maybe two will survive. And it's not as big a fuck you as saying this was all a dream, or it's not as big a fuck you as like, we're not going to give you an ending, but it is kind of consciously giving the audience a screw you ending. And I'm always confused by that choice.
Yeah, it seems to, I think you mentioned that it seems like they're trying to think they're being clever.
Yes.
Smart with, they start accusing each other. It's like, oh, God, who done it vibes again. And who's behind all these mysterious deaths, these mysterious, uninteresting deaths. It could be you, or it could be you.
Yes. Good thing to ask yourself as a filmmaker, film writer, or as a character in a scene. Why do people care about what's going on in this scene? And if you don't have a good answer to that, try to find one before you roll camera.
Yeah. And it wasn't really a surprise at the end, of course, that it was an April Fool's prank. It's in the title. We've seen the original. I think that's the only thing it has in common with it is that nobody really died.
But we were looking for that because of the original. And the fact that there still is another accidental death at the end of the movie is not a good enough of a payoff for my tastes.
And, of course, the girl that it turns out we're led to believe is responsible. She worked on a movie set and has access to special effects.
Yep.
Make it look like someone got their throat slit or whatever. So, this was... Can I say I hated this movie?
You're allowed.
Sure.
You're allowed.
Yeah, I didn't like this at all. How about that?
I think we have bad luck with movies like... Well, no, I misspoke. I was about to say it was Sorority, but this isn't Sorority Road. This is April Fool's. I will say this. It's not as bad as that Sorority Party movie that I made you review a couple years ago. Sorority Party Massacre?
Well, yeah, I remember that one. At least that one had, like... I'm thinking about... Never mind.
It was hilariously bad instead of just boring, I guess.
I think this one was a bit more dull, actually.
So, try as we might, I really did try at the end, but we just can't find anything good to say.
I'm trying to think of something good to say.
Moving
pass.
on. All right, Cry Wolf, directed by Jeff Wadlow, from 2005. As you just heard,
funny story about that one?
fun story about it, as you've already just heard. I saw it in theaters at the cheap theater, and remember thinking, it was all right. It was not exactly what I expected, but so be it. Years later, at like a DVD sale where you get a bunch to get a deal, I ended up picking it up because cheap slasher movie. And it sat on my shelf for like probably a decade. And like, it was just, I didn't revisit it. Here we are. We're going to do a slasher episode with my buddy Scott. Let's revisit Cry Wolf. And upon revisiting Cry Wolf, I have scruples. The movie kind of pissed me off a little bit watching it now, and I kind of wondered what it was that I saw in it. And more than that, I kind of wonder, is it actually a slasher movie when all is said and done? Like, this group of, again, absolutely shallow, unlikable college students kind of create this digital boogeyman for their campus. And then after they've created the sort of zeitgeist sort of manifests it into some form of reality. Or does it? And yeah, once again, we get a series of disappearances or kills, and it ends up paying off in a way that maybe what we've seen, we're being manipulated. But I don't think it delivered for me what I wanted from a slasher movie, which was a slasher that slashes and kills people. I think maybe it was just false advertising. Like, you look at this cover with the ski mask and this huge fucking knife, and you think, yeah, I'm going to get into some real teeth and tissue here. But it's all about a girl who gets jealous that her side piece has another side piece and decides that she needs to kill people to make this okay. And
if you look at the bottom, of the DVD case, you notice that PG-13 rating sitting there too.
Yes, and that's another thing. Apparently, it was retrofitted to PG. So, but how would be my question. If most of the death is not as real as we're left to believe, I don't know. I find it hard to believe that a movie with John Bon Jovi in it could disappoint. But here I sit, a little bit disappointed. It's professionally acted, and it actually has, frankly, a better cast than it deserves. Jared Padalecki, Gary Cole shows up in here. Like I say, John Bon fucking Jovi is in this.
Well, I found John Bon Jovi. That was distracting. I didn't know he was in this movie, and then all of a sudden, I couldn't get my. I was like bothering me, thinking, is that John Bon Jovi? Is that and why? If so, why?
Yeah. And again, it's also funny because he's like this rock relic from the 80s, and like these two, early 2000 girls are like fighting over who gets to be him. Like, I guess I understand why he found the part appealing. It stroked his ego a lot.
Yeah, and so some similarities to the previous movie we talked about, April Fool's Day, in this one as well. And really, people that we are led to believe died didn't really die, right?
Yeah.
That starts off with a death, I guess, pre-credits, like April Fool's Day. There is one death that everything is built up afterwards. I will say it was better acted than April Fool's Day. But I guess a bit more interesting, more reason to follow it, I guess. I just didn't find it, frankly, not that interesting overall, though.
Yes.
We're finding out the secrets and what really is going on, but I found it weird that how little I cared.
Yeah. I think our main character, Julian Morris, Owen, is kind of an empty suit. Like, everything happens around him, but he's not very active participant. He's sort of the perfect foil for our villain in that, like, he perfectly falls for everything.
Yeah. And, a bunch of pranks are played on him to make it seem like something, he's going crazy or someone's died or someone's after him. I think calling it a horror movie, even a horror movie, not just a slasher, calling it a horror movie, I think is a stretch.
Right.
Maybe it lends itself more to maybe a teen drama thriller, maybe.
And then they could do that. Like, they could talk about how you can create a boogeyman, or you can use social media to torment people and cause, manic things to take place. I also think because we were sort of still early in the social media lunacy and interacting with our cell phones almost exclusively, that the movie makes a bigger meal of that than it needs to. It's just so contemporary. And it's got that early 2000s, at times, like this is a music video vibe going for it. It gives it its polish, and it makes it feel more professional than the like April Fools or the micro-budget films. But it also makes it sort of feel false, like a commercial or like like it's posing as a slasher movie without being one, which at the end of the day might be what's happening here. Like, it's okay to be this movie, but is it okay to sell your audience a false bill of goods?
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, you're just going to get people going home disappointed, saying that's not what I wanted to do tonight. Unless you're going to blow my mind and say, that's not what I thought I was getting into. Then sure, a surprise. I thought this was a gangster movie, not a vampire movie. Wow, what a surprise. That was fun. But that doesn't happen here.
But, I mean, I can see how it might work. Like, if, a bunch of shallow kids who, don't take the world seriously enough, and there's plenty of those, make a false account and start harassing people through social media and saying, I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to prove myself to be the world's new boogeyman. And then, yes, real killing started to happen, and they had to deal with it because their fingerprints are all over it. I think that there would actually be something there. But
there could be a movie in there, yeah.
But a jealous girl wants to take revenge against a boyfriend who cheated on her with another girl and uses all of her friend group and this kid that she just met to manipulate it to make it happen. And then credits roll, and that's supposed to be, I don't know, satisfying or whatever.
Yeah. And we got that in a final twist, and right at the very end. And they didn't play it, but in my head, I could hear the Saw music playing.
Right.
When they did the reveal, and doing all these little flashbacks. Is it dun 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 dun? Every Saw movie when it's the reveal, but this is what really happened. And Saw came out a year before this, so you could really feel that being. We're going to really pull the carpet under the audience's feet here. And
it's not that I necessarily saw it coming, but I saw how smart the movie thought this was. And I don't think it's that smart. And again, maybe if I rewatched it knowing what I did now, there would be some tells, but it was just like Owen believed everything that was put in front of him, and then the villain stepped out of the shadows, gave her Bond villain speech, which explained the movie to him and us. And then she smirked, gloated, and walked away, and the curtains dropped. And, in a different movie, again, you could say, oh, she really pulled it off. Or if Owen had some essential flaw in his character that made us feel like he kind of deserved this a little bit. Or if it was like a Hannibal Lecter thing where she was just so cunning, we kind of liked it in some weird way. She got away with it at the end. None of that takes place. It's the smugness of her at that speech, too, because I really feel like she's thinking, our minds are going to be fucking blown by this. And even if you're surprised by it, your mind isn't blown by it. It's like, I guess that works.
And that was her final line. It was like, she denies it and then says, even if it was me, who's going to believe you?
Yeah,
and
it's such a convoluted story, right?
Who's going to believe you? And it's I guess.
Yeah, it is a convoluted story. It's almost like it's just some shitty horror movie that doesn't know how to sell itself, so it pretends that it's a slasher movie and takes money out of my pocket.
But if nothing else, Bon Jovi finally did get shot through the heart.
Yes, he did get shot through the heart. And
he did.
And he was to blame. The weird thing about this, too, was the reason I opened with, I watched this movie in the theater, I remember thinking, I was alright. And then when I watched it again on video, again with the DVD, over a decade later, first of all, it felt like I was watching it for the first time. Like, I had no memory of this movie. And second of all, did I like this movie?
What made me think this was worth $1?
It was 2005. I was a brand new dad. I was very tired. I don't know. This is nowhere near the debacle that April Fool's Day was that we were talking about, but there are so many better horror movies to watch than Cry Wolf.
Yes.
It looks like it's the real deal. It should be the real deal. It is not the real deal, in this man's humble opinion.
I think at some point, if they did have some actual stakes in the movie, then maybe. Right. But there was really nothing. Like, a room gets trashed, and they kind of joke about it, and they don't really even talk about it after, and someone goes missing, but there's nothing really big that happens. There needs to be something of consequence that happens.
Like, what's the standout kill? What's the big moment? What's the thing that you take away from watching Cry Wolf?
There's almost a shower scene.
Right. Yeah. I just keep going back to John Bon Jovi, man. John Bon Jovi.
I mean, they played that game in the church. That it seems like this isn't what kids would do.
No.
Why is only one of them drinking beer as well? What's going on with this movie?
Yeah, no, these are movie characters. People that just don't act like people. Alas. I don't know what else to say. Is there anything else you want to say about Cry Wolf?
I think that's good.
Yeah. Are we grumpy today? Are we a little salty? I don't know.
In this town on Valentine's Day, everybody loses their heart.
Roses are red, violets are blue. One is dead, and so are you.
It can't be happening again.
Stop!
It can't be happening again.
What's going on over in Valentine Bluffs? It looks like Harry Warden's back in town.
It happened once. It happened twice. Cancel the dance or it'll happen thrice.
In the town of Valentine Bluffs, there are many ways to die. Take your pick. My Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine, 1981, director George Mihalka. It's one of a million low-budget horror movies produced in Canada through the late 70s and throughout the 80s, and it started dying off in the early 90s, but still an industry exists built off of all of these little movies. And this one stands out, not just because it's one of the best of them, but because it doesn't hide its Canadian. It's like this is a Canadian town. It's an actual place, an actual mine. The cast hung out there. They sort of soaked in the vibes of the place and tried to make the community feel as real as possible, and then set these unreal slasher events in it. And yeah, like, it's one of my favorite Canadian Canadian-made slasher movies. And I think kind of throws shame over Prom Night in the way it does its business. And that, yes, there's the sort of setup at the beginning to tell us the history of the town and the stigma around Valentine's Day and the Harry Warden sort of backstory. And then there's the slow crawl build to the night of the Valentine's party where the deaths take place. But I didn't feel the sag. Like, there is this charming character actor sheriff who's trying to protect the community, and there is a lot of color to the characters as we meet them. And when we meet them, they're not stabbing each other in the back or being like vicious and shitty. They seem to enjoy each other's company. They laugh, they joke, they drink beers, they're convivial. Like, even though this guy has come back to town after a failed venture to the big real world, and his girl's dating another guy, he still hangs out with them because, well, you don't really have a choice. There's only so many people to hang out within this town. And the place felt real, the people felt real. So when the unreal stuff started happening, you kind of had to sort of accept it. You're forced to like let it play out. The kills are quite strong for 1981. We are past Friday the 13th, but I think these guys are trying to meet it. Unfortunately, they got trimmed back by the ratings board already, even this early in the 80s. Scott and I were able to watch sort of the extended cuts, and if you watch it, you can tell the film grain changes sometimes a little bit during those kill sequences. But
still worth it.
It's worth it for the trade-off of the extra prosthetic gore.
These kills, there's some amazing kills in this. Like, really good. I think this, 1981?
Yeah. I think I could complain that the killer reveal and the very end of the movie is kind of almost an afterthought and sloppy, but the movie works so completely and so efficiently up to that point that if they were trying to set up for a sequel that never happened, I'm going to forgive them for that. I think My Bloody Valentine is a slasher classic. Fight me.
I'm going to go one up on you.
Okay.
I'm going to say My Bloody Valentine is as good as Halloween. Fight me. I'm going to say it's...
That sound you heard was Lee clutching his chest and dumping over with a heart attack.
I love every moment of My Bloody Valentine. I just love it, and maybe it's part of the Canadiana of it, where they have Canadian sounding accents. You know, they got mustaches and they work in the mine. they're good people. They drink Moosehead beer. Every single shot there's a bottle of Moosehead somewhere. Even in the laundromat there's a case of Moosehead on the counters. That's what Canadians do when we're doing laundry. We drink 24 Moosehead. I think, as we mentioned, the kills, every single kill in this pays off, and this is the best killer for sure out of the 6 movies today, as far as the visual of the miner walking with this huge pickaxe with the flashlight on the helmet is just so creepy and cool and just amazing looking. You know, this guy walking towards you with the pickaxe in his hands and the light on his helmet just kind of blocking, you can't see him that well.
Yeah.
What a cool, scary image. I saw this movie when I was very young. And it stuck with me as a favorite since then. It checks off every box for me as far as, and again, it's also a bit of a whodunit. Is Harry Warden really back? Or is there something else? But I think they kind of really pushed the Harry Warden on us, that until that final frame, we're led to believe that he's back. And maybe in the end, that maybe would have been a better way for them to go, because they would have had a possible, money-making franchise on their hands. I think My Bloody Valentine could be the best slasher horror movie of all time that never had a franchise.
But in a way, that might be part of its strength. I felt that when I talked about The Burning, right? Like, they could have franchised The Burning, but maybe The Burning is stronger because they didn't franchise The Burning.
And I agree that, it would have became a silly thing, by My Bloody Valentine 4 kind of thing. It just always felt like this one movie that was sort of my own growing up. It's like everyone knew about Halloween and Friday the 13th and Freddy, but it was like, well, have you seen My Bloody Valentine? It's kind of like this other movie that I really liked, and I would show people if they would, take the time to look at it. But the version I grew up with, I fell in love with. And then years later, Scream Factory put together the uncut version, which is so amazing. There's scenes in there I've never seen before. The deaths are extended, and there's still stuff that's missing.
There's something about that woman in the dryer thing. The cop finds this poor woman body's been stuffed in the dryer, and he opens the door and her body falls out. And that's basically what you see in the original cut. In this cut, as he's standing there kind of catatonic in shot, the body spins around in the dryer several times, limply just thunking against it, and it's just terrible.
There's a kill with a pickaxe going through, I think it goes through a jaw and comes out the guy's eyeball.
Yep.
And that's an extended one as well. And even to this day, I watched it this time for the review, and I still went, oh dude. Like, jeez.
I love that death because, like, this guy's trying to play a prank on these kids. So he sets up a dummy that looks like a killer miner. So when they open the door, it'll drop this axe and look like someone's trying to kill them. And he opens the door like 5 times and cackles like a little child each time. And you know one of these times he's going to open the door and the dude's going to kill him. And that exact thing happens. And yet it's still so awesome.
And he's also the bartender, right? And he's the one that tells
story.
The story.
Yeah.
Tells the story of Harry Warden, a very dramatic telling of it at the bar, and everyone just laughs at him and orders another moose head. And
it is cheesy, and yet I have no notes. Like, perfect execution as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, because the story he tells, they show flashbacks to it. Like, that could have been a movie. Yeah. That could have been a really good prequel movie. I don't think they could set it up for a sequel because our killer cuts his own arm off and goes insane, walks deeply into the mine singing, and totally cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But
we talked about this in the other movies. Once he is revealed, he goes from a guy who has a perfect mask of sanity to he was holding it in for so long that it's just like and I think that was the weakest part of that performance and that element of that character. I don't mind him being revealed as the character, but I think he overplayed the crazy to a significant measure at that point. Going back to this being a Canadian movie, though, I really like I've seen hundreds of movies shot in Vancouver pretending that they're New York, or shot in Toronto and pretending they're Chicago, or where they redo the labels on things, or there'll just be those 1 or 2 actors that have that crazy Canadian accent going, and you're like, yeah, no. I love that they were just like, this is a great location, this is a great mine, this is a great community. Let's set the movie here. I really genuinely appreciate it. Like, why not set the movie in Canada? What does it hurt the audience that this is a small town in Canada and not a small town in the United States? Like, do people care less about these Canadians getting murdered?
There's a funny moment with when they're all in the bar and the wait. Well, I don't know. I found it funny. It wasn't played for laughs, but I find it funny. The waitress comes up to the table with a couple moose heads and says, "Hey, who ordered the moose head?" And I laugh because it's how about fucking everybody? Look at the table. There's like 30 empty moose heads on the table. I don't think they had another. I don't know. There was some strong marketing involved with that one.
I like that tickled you. You want to know the thing that tickled me about it, which also struck me as strangely Canadian? They haven't been allowed to have a Valentine's Day party ever, for as long as like
20 years.
Yeah, and for this group, it might as well be forever. They're young party goers, so they're super stoked about having this party, but the town won't let them. So, all right, we'll secretly have the party at the mine. They get to the mine, they get all liquored up, and they think to themselves, you know what would be awesome? If we go down to the deepest, most dangerous part of this mine while we're drunk. It's like we spend all of our days in this shitty mine, and we spend our nights drinking. And this night, to break the rules, what are we going to do? We're going to go get drunk in the fucking mine. And that is, yes, I believe that completely. Yes.
Oh, they got the girls with them, right? Oh, come on, girls aren't allowed in the mine. Oh, come on, let's show them.
We get to drink and have sex where we usually just work. This is amazing.
Just think about it tomorrow, Richard, on our lunch break where you're sitting down. I just banged Lisa or whatever.
There's one of the women gets lifted off the ground and has her back of her skull pierced by this pipe, and it comes out of her mouth, and there's water spraying down on it. And I always like the scene where her boyfriend walks back and discovers her. Like, he sees her right away, but it's like he can't understand what he's looking at. He keeps walking towards it. Like, is it a prank? Is it real? There is something absurd about the image, and there is something absurd about his reaction, but I believe it. You're not expecting that, and, the surreality of that moment is kind of acknowledged.
Yeah, that's right. The reaction to that was was good. And I think that's the point when they realized, hey, things aren't right.
Yeah.
Harry Warden's back, right? And he comes back in. Another character I like, I think it's Hollis was his name. He's the larger guy.
Yeah.
And he's friend. You're right. Everybody kind of gets along in this movie. No one's really a jerk. Even the two guys that
have friction between each other. They're
still trying to work it out.
Yeah.
But I like this character. He's got the big mustache. He looks a little bit older, but he's also got probably the prettiest girlfriend of the bunch, that's a nice thing to have. I just recall that she wears the red dress to the party, and there was a scene where she talked about, it's in this kind of movie, it's a funny foreshadowing moment where she says, oh, you got to come to the party. You got a new red dress. It's cut down to here and it's slid up to here. I might not get out of there alive. Yeah.
I see what you did there, movie.
And of course she doesn't, but I can't, this is one movie I can't think of something bad to say about it.
Charming. I think maybe modern audiences will find the feel of the 80s movie is there. There is that sort of aesthetic of the sort of small town 80s vibe. The cast is strong. The pace is pretty strong. It's slower, but not as slow as some of the other slasher movies. Like, I think it's holding its age well. What's that?
Yeah, you don't go too long without a kill, though, either.
No, or a reason to be worried.
Yeah, a kill or a box with a bloody heart in it. Something is going to happen. So, you don't get too long.
It's rock solid. Is there anything else you would like to say about My Bloody Valentine?
Well, I hope that the hot take wasn't that controversial, but I think this movie is, I hold it very highly.
I'm going to think about it. I'm going to sit with the whole Halloween thing, but I'm not going to commit to it at this time.
All right.
What are we going to do now?
We've got to find the key.
So we're going to finish the series of reviews here with Stage Fright from Michele Soavi. Pretty much all of the previous entries that we've talked about either has like a big reveal at the end or some subterfuge, some trick they try to pull on the audience or on the main character of the movie. And I have to say that one of the things that I found really refreshing about Stage Fright, which is a movie that I've always had some affection for, is how it has no interest in any of that at all. We know exactly who the killer is right away, and that he's killed before and he's going to kill again. And all of our characters are locked into a theater for pretty vague reasons. And a guy wearing a kind of absurd but still kind of creepy looking owl mask starts killing people with different implements. A drill, a chainsaw, like he likes to mix it up.
Yeah.
And all this movie does is deliver on that template, you know? We got this killer, he's going to kill people, and we're going to find different ways to kill off these actors. And I have done a lot of theater, I've worked in a lot of plays, and I have thought many occasions that the backstage area of a theater company or a stage is full of creepy opportunities. Whereas the front-facing world of the theater, you know, where the audience and the public is, everything looks nice. Backstage is dark and like crammed with shit everywhere it will fit. There's shit to trip over, there's ladders to climb, there's ropes hanging everywhere, props stacked all over the place. Like, everything that is organized outside is a big kind of catastrophe backstage. And you got these walkways and these sub-tunnels and like a lot of really cool opportunities, I think, for thrills, for horrors. Like, I had that thought working in Castle Theatre and other places that someone should shoot a horror movie here. And this is the movie that did it. I originally saw it, I believe, on Super Channel under its original name Aquarius. And I didn't get it recorded. So for the longest time, I just had the memory of this movie with this owl-faced guy killing people. And that it was weirdly dubbed and sort of absurd. When I finally discovered it, Stage Fright, and watched it again, I found that all of that was true. Yes, it's absurd and strange and very 80s. It's badly dubbed, like a lot of these Italian movies tend to be. And yes, an owl-faced killer kills a bunch of actors in very creative ways. All of that is true, and I dug every second. It's so strange, but it delivers the goods on the gore, and I think is a really well and interestingly shot movie at times. I would understand if you thought I was crazy right now, like you're like, Larry, calm down. But I don't know. I feel like Stage Fright is a little bit unsung, so this is me singing.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Unsung. I don't really hear a lot of talk about it. It is. It's a good slasher horror movie, and I like the Italian style horror movies, as I've said before. I think. Let me see here. I guess we could start with the killer's mask, the owl, the owl mask. It's not quite as imposing as the miner in Bloody Valentine. I always felt like it seemed a little bit odd. I see a lot of message boards where people love the owl mask and say, "Oh, what a great mask! It's creepy." To me, it sort of just felt like that's what they found. It's like, hey, we have an owl mask. Our killer could wear this, I guess. Sure.
Well,
I think that
even the killer. The killer's not that passionate about it. He just stole the mask off of one of the actors. A mask is a mask is a mask.
Yeah. I mean, some masks become iconic and they take off, like, Jason's hockey goalie mask. I don't think that's happened with the owl mask, but I guess the stage play they're doing, I think, was called Night of the Owl. Yes. So that's why they're in their play, a guy wears an owl mask. So I guess it fits.
And it's about a serial killer. It's a musical about an owl-masked serial killer. What a coincidence.
Yeah, and it's going into this movie, the first time I've seen it, it was a little bit strange because you don't know what's going on. You don't realize it opens up rehearsing the play. And all of a sudden, all the characters break into dance. Yes. And I'm like, I don't think I want to watch this movie anymore, guys.
Wait a minute. Is this a stupid movie?
Yeah. And then it says, all right, cut. Say, okay, this is, all right, they're doing a play. I can settle back down. But if you don't know that going in, it all of a sudden turns into something else, and you're not sure you want to take part in it right away. But
it reminded me of Demons. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Where everybody gets these tickets to this movie theater, and but the aesthetic is very 80s and very strange, and it's more weird and off-putting until the violence starts.
Yeah.
And then the gore starts, and you're like, oh, right, that's why I'm here. Yes, yeah, okay, thank you. I think that the owl mask is kind of absurd, but there are times where it works, particularly the tableau scene where he drags all of the bodies out on the stage. Yeah. And then he just sits there, and he's got this cat in his lap, and he's petting the cat, and it's like...
And the feathers are falling around him. And...
Yeah, it's like somebody who has a collection of models or something, and he just puts them all out in front of him, and he just looks at his work and appreciates, all that he's done. And in that sequence, again, absurd, why is he doing this? There's something cool about the look, the tableau, the image of that. And in that scene, I quite like the owl mask. Sometimes I'm not sure how I feel about it. But the movie is, like I say, pretty laissez-faire with, reality. This one woman is pulled down between the floorboards, and they're trying to pull her out, and she gets ripped in half. How he did that, we don't know.
The world's quietest chainsaw. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they pulled her up like there was a shark down there.
That's right. What is he doing?
There are some really good kills in there. One that stood out to me is maybe like not as gruesome as and over the top of that, but one of the girls gets kind of pushed into the chainsaw by the director of the film, and she kind of goes off on the side and crawls away to kind of die quietly in a shower.
Yeah.
And one of our other girls is standing in a nearby shower watching her, and she's just bleeding and whimpering, and the killer comes in there, and the way he picks her up and slowly puts a knife into her stomach just to end it, that was just like a heartless kind of mean, evil sort of kill that just kind of hurt a little bit. It was kind of just very creepy, I thought, just the way that
kind of counted a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, some of them were just absurd, so that was kind of a different and interesting beat to be played there.
But yeah, you get an axe, you get drills, you get knives, you get pretty much everything.
You do get pet peeve, but I mean, the movie does have a percentage of knowing absurdity. I gave shit to Halloween 2 for having a cat scare in a hospital. This movie has a cat scare in a parked car.
Yeah, they're looking for the cat. Where'd my cat go? Oh, he must be in that locked car.
That's right, that makes sense. Well, it was raining out, so the cat just picked the lock and went inside. I don't know. But again, I don't want to oversell. I mean, I want to oversell the movie in that I think it's a great slasher movie, but I want people to be prepared that it is weird, self-consciously weird, and there are sort of strange corners to the movie. But there are really great ones, too. The sequence where the woman crawls underneath the stage and is trying to get this key, which has somehow wedged itself in the boards of the stage. And meanwhile, our killer's up there sitting looking at all of his handiwork, and she's painstakingly trying to wedge this key free from the board so she can let herself out of this theater and away from him. And it's shot, like, kind of gorgeously. It's a actual scene of suspense, which the movie had done a lot of other things, but there hadn't been too much, like, nail-biting sort of sequences. Suavi would go on to do The Church and Cemetery Man, and if you haven't seen those movies, I would encourage you to check them out. Like, he makes bonkers movies. And I wouldn't say that Stage Fright isn't bonkers. I would endorse it as a crazy slasher movie. Yes.
Yeah, the characters are interesting too.
The director is just such a piece of shit.
So one of the actresses gets killed by this escaped lunatic. Who he was an actor too, right? Yeah. He was a stage actor, coincidentally, that went crazy. But they find the body, they call the police, everything's okay now. You'd think everyone's traumatized enough to maybe let's call it a day, but no, opening night is this weekend.
No, we need to must go on.
Yeah, because they figured, we're going to get a lot of publicity now because of the death, and so we're
more ridiculously, her returning the next day to the theater to collect her watch.
Oh shit, I forgot my watch.
And, the police had come and cleaned up all the bodies, but neglected the killers somehow? What are we talking about exactly?
Yeah, that was, I think... Yeah, and then that happened, you're right.
Again, absurd, but I'm not mad at it. There's also a scene where the killer takes the mask. He's killed the actor who's playing the owl guy, but he comes out on stage, and the director starts telling him, grab her, choke her, stab her! And so he does. And it's one of these weird lore things that you hear if you do a lot of theater. That story about the guy who accidentally cut his throat on stage, or a prop gun that failed, or somebody who swapped a real knife with a fake knife to commit actual murder on stage. They're like these urban legends that are ubiquitous throughout the theater world. This movie kind of exploits that. I also think if you have worked a lot of theater, the directors that are shitty because they enjoy being shitty and not because of the process, or they're artistes. And I know it's an ugly stereotype, that sort of flamboyantly gay actor character who seems to just be there to play dress up. I mean, it's a type, but it's marked. the fact that the actresses really like each other, but the sort of inborn competition between them also means that they don't really like each other. So in a lot of ways, their friendship is a secondary performance to the performance that they're giving on stage. Again, they didn't need to include any of that in this movie, but there it is.
Yeah, made them people.
Yeah. So, warts and all, I like this movie. I can see someone watching it and thinking, Larry, this is crazy and it's nonsense, and some of it, frankly, doesn't make sense. And I'm here to say, I hear you, but I don't care.
Yeah, that's not the point. And it's kind of an unheralded movie too. It's worth pushing people out there if they can, because there's that dubbing. If you can get past that, I have no problem with that. I've watched a lot of those, so that's not an issue with me. So I jump right in.
I've grown to accept that there's nothing I can do about that bad dubbing, but it used to be a hurdle that I had to just climb. Just try to ignore it, Larry. I would always take subtitles if given the choice, but in this case, I was not. So be it.
Well, the big lesson to learn from this movie, though, is if you ever sprain your ankle, don't go to a mental hospital. Go to a regular hospital.
Yeah.
I don't care if the mental hospital is closer. Go to a real hospital.
They're not going to diagnose your ankle with a learning disability. Okay. So.
Did you notice how creepy that doctor was caressing her thigh?
Oh, yeah. Just in the background, doing doctor stuff to her ankle.
It looks like a sprain, and he goes up and starts just caressing her thigh, and that's not. You're not a doctor. You're the janitor. What are you doing?
Hey, I'm just going to give your ankle a quick sniff here. Is that cool? I think that's probably time for me to maybe wrap things up on the Stage Fright review. Is there anything else you want to say about Stage Fright, brother?
No, I better not. No.
Mr. Scott Lehman.
Yo.
Thank you so much for doing yet another Slasher Cinema episode. I always think of you when I'm thinking of Slasher episodes, but if you want to say when, you can always say when. There are other horror movies that we can talk about, but you and I just grew up watching these movies. I remember you having all these VHS tapes recorded off a Super Channel. I would come to visit, and you'd be like, Larry, you need to watch Prom Night 2. And god damn it, you were right. I did need to watch Prom Night 2. Thank you, sir. No Scott Lehman, no rank and review. I've said it before. I will say it again. What was your least favorite of these 6 slasher movies and why?
I just remember you being like, I can't watch Prom Night 2. I haven't seen Prom Night 1 yet. You say, you'll be fine.
I'll be lost.
Okay. The worst movie of this bunch is April Fool's Day.
What?
Yeah. Yep, that was it was one of those movies I found, again, like you, 6 movies for 50 cents or something. Maybe not quite that good deal, and it sat on my shelf and it looked like something I didn't ever really feel like watching, and thank you for letting me watch it and make shelf space for a new movie on my shelf now.
Yeah, whatever movie you replace it with will be more interesting.
Yeah, I enjoyed 0 things of that movie.
Alas.
Number 5 will be Cry Wolf. As I said before, it was better than April Fool's Day, but I just didn't really care.
Yeah.
I just didn't find it that interesting in what happened. If somebody actually maybe did die during the movie, I would have maybe thought something, said, "Ooh, something's going on. Let's find out what's going on." But unfortunately, number 4, I feel like this was mean, but I'm going to put Prom Night in number 4. It's a classic, and it's worth, if you're into, all the 80s slashers, you definitely need to watch Prom Night. I just think maybe I just want a little bit more in that middle section.
Right.
Once the kills start in the school, it gets pretty fun. But you gotta listen to some disco.
Yeah, you're gonna have to put up with some disco and some cheesy fashion and some strangeness, and Leslie Nielsen not being funny. I don't know.
Surely it could be a good movie, but this is where I think we might miss our matches. But I'm gonna put Stage Fright at number 3. I do like it. I think that's a fun one to point out to people. It's got a weird cover on it of a killer smashing an aquarium full of heads with an axe. I think they're trying to be artistic or something, because the other title was Aquarius.
Yes.
And I read something where the director wanted to, I don't know, related, like they're all trapped in an aquarium or something, but don't try and be artsy. You've got a bunch of people who just stab.
Actors locked in theater killed by owl person.
Yeah. Stage Fright is fun. It's a good movie, good horror movie. I'm sorry, I'm going to put Sorority Row at number 2 because I don't know why I just have so much fun with that movie. It's kind of ridiculous, and it's just fun. Every time I watch it, I feel like, why do I like this so much? But I do. And with no surprise, My Bloody Valentine is obviously going to be number 1 with the high praise I gave it.
I feel like number 1 and number 6 in this particular list were kind of a gimme.
Yeah, I think we made that clear.
That's an awesome list, and it's also a heartbreaking list because holy shit, we were so close. I was like, oh, it's gonna happen. And it would have been another slasher cinema one for you to win on, but we got to keep this thing honest, and we just switched in that one spot. Yes.
Yeah, I felt it. And I wanted to be honest, too.
Yeah, April Fool's Day is very clearly and very definitely the worst movie of this collection. It's 91 minutes, and it feels like it's forever. Like, part of me feels like my brain is still recovering from the tediousness of that movie. At least be interestingly bad or hilariously bad or something. Yeah. Cry Wolf staying in agreement in 5th position. I think I got increasingly pissed off at the false advertising of this movie. It's not a slasher movie, and it's kind of barely a horror movie. It's kind of like a smug, thinks it's smarter than you teen dramedy, masquerading as a horror movie. And as a result, I felt kind of as irritated as I did entertained. So that's a 5th place.
And if you look at that cover for Cry Wolf, it looks like it's going to be vicious, doesn't it?
It looks like a mean-spirited, like we're going to see something gnarly, but still agreeing with you. And at the time, I thought controversial. In 4th place, I am putting Prom Night pretty much exclusively for that middle section of the movie. We talked about that 50 or so minutes where nothing scary or suspenseful or ominous or suggestive of ominous ever happens. It's just a bunch of tedious teenagers being tedious teenagers.
And may I add that Prom Night 2 is twice as entertaining as the first one.
I remember when I did the review of Prom Night 2 for the podcast, I thought, I've always kind of thought that this was better than Prom Night 2. Maybe I'm crazy. Upon this fresh review, I am not crazy. Prom Night 2 is significantly better than Prom Night. It's also significantly crazier than Prom Night, but I digress. Here's the point where our paths diverge. In 3rd position, I'm putting Sorority Row. It absolutely checks all the boxes for the kind of movie it is, It doesn't do anything to go over and above it. It has an attractive, capable cast. It's well shot. It's efficiently told. I just don't think it's particularly memorable. Stage Fright, on the other hand, in second place, is out of its goddamn mind, but it's kind of unforgettable. Like, you can't unsee Stage Fright. Like, it may not make total sense to you, and you may think like that it's maybe almost too crazy for its own good at times, but I appreciate the madness here. I mean,
I started right between the eyes. Right between the eyes.
That's right.
Right between the eyes.
One more time for good measure. Right between the eyes. What was the... Shit, my brain is working slow. What was the Guilty Pleasure Slasher movie that we reviewed for that special episode? With the rubber knife and the karate guy and...
Pieces.
Pieces. Jesus, I'm ashamed I couldn't remember. It's not as crazy and bonkers and like essential as Pieces, but I'm saying it's playing in that arena. is Stage Fright. But yes, maybe it's a Canadian bias, maybe it's a slasher bias, but going into this list, even kind of sight unseen, I went in understanding that My Bloody Valentine was very likely going to be in the top spot. It has been, loomed large in my sort of imagination for a long time. It's not just that it's a great 80s slasher, too. It's of the first, I think, great 80s slashers that I saw. Like, it was when this whole thing was new to me. When I hadn't spent, 40 years of my life pouring hundreds and hundreds of other samples of this into my mind. And still, even after that, my love for My Bloody Valentine remains large. Number 1. We were so close. Stage Fright and Sorority Row were just the two that switched, man. Ugh,
yeah, as we were talking, I knew how this was going to work out, but I had to stay true to my list.
And I respect that, too. You give me your honest list. You weren't trying to cut the books to win. I respect that.
I'm a good guy with a good heart. Just don't put it in the box.
What did Sarah say? I thought I heard Sarah for a second there.
I don't know. I try not to listen.
Just block it out. This was lovely. I had a great time talking slashers with you yet again. Is there anything you'd like to say to the good people on the internet before we wrap up this episode of Rank and Review?
Oh, they know how I feel about them. Those good people. No, I guess that's it.
I guess I make assumptions when I say good people.
Yeah. Well, I got nothing to plug right now.
So endeth the 288th episode of Rank and Review. You will be hearing Scott again in our next film club episode on the subject of found footage. Thank you.
Right on.
I think you're one of my oldest friends in my entire life. I've known you as long as I've been alive, and I'm so grateful.
That's nuts, man. Why, thank you. Good to know you. Cheers.
Cheers. You're drinking a nice boot of beer. Do me a favor, if you bump into her, throw Sarah a hug for me, would you?
I'll give her one tonight when she least expects it.
Sweet, just sneak up on her. Jump scare. And she gets mad saying, that was Larry, not me. Larry made me do that.
She says, get off me, Scott. I'm not Scott, I'm Larry.
Yes.
Oh,
roleplay. Again. I should maybe stop this before I say something I read.
Oh, you're still recording?
Yes. There it was, another gruesome edition of Rank and Review comes to a close. What do you think? How did we do? Who was right? Who was wrong? How would you rank? You can send me feedback at ranknreview@gmail.com. That's ranknreview@gmail.com. You can check out the website at ranknreview.ca, and you can maybe check out the YouTube presence that Rank and Review is having, and throw a like or subscribe. As usual, I would encourage you to also check out Mr. Jason DeBray's Shelf Shedding Movie Show, and keep watching horror movies, and thank you so much for your ears. If you could maybe tell that other movie freak in your life about Rank and Review, you'd be definitely doing me a solid. So this is the voice of your host and random Canadian telling you, you have great taste in podcasts.